Shwaddhup, Bruddah.
Shwaddhup, Bruddah.
Welcome back to the Shwaddhup, Bruddah podcast hour. I'm Josh Colclaser.
And I'm Tommy Govero.
And this is episode 7 of year 2.
Heck yeah, man.
Just moving on through them.
Yeah, I don't have anything quirky to say about this one.
Mowing them down.
Absolutely we are.
Lucky number 7.
There we go. Lucky number 7. Last one before the Christmas special, right?
Yeah, which I am so stoked for.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit before this.
We have a special guest on our Christmas episode sitting in the corner over there. You guys can't see him, but...
I was like, wait, what? I was like, oh, yeah.
Tricked ya.
Yeah, you did.
So, we're on episode 7 already. I mean... This is, I feel like it's already kind of flying by. Before you know it, we're going to be in the double digits.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we're right there. Like, after New Year's, that's whenever we get into the double digit and ride that train through the year.
Speaking of New Year, I'm excited for the new year. I'm ready to get 2020 over with.
Dude, who isn't?
I'm sure everybody is.
Like, I will say, 2020 has definitely been, like, not the most ideal year around the world. But, like... It hasn't been the worst year by any means.
Good things have happened. I got engaged.
Yeah.
My birthday.
I mean, that happens every year.
I lived another year,
It's a good thing to celebrate. But yeah, like, we take the good with the bad.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, me and you could go on and on and on about this, but, like, it's one of those things that, like you said, it just wasn't the ideal year, and, definitely take the good with the bad. Beyond that, I'm ready to move on and move on past it. So
I'm really excited for 2021. We grew this podcast a good deal over this year.
I know. I'm very excited to see what this year 2 rest of year 2 has.
And there's still things happening with it, like the whole Pandora. We're on Pandora now. That's pretty cool.
Hey, and
I applied for that a couple months ago.
I forgot that's what that was for, and you sent me the text the other day. Like, I completely forgot you even did that, and you were like, "Hey, it took them long enough, but they accepted us." So,
dude, I'm trying to think if there's any left that we still need to get put on, but I think that. I don't know if we're on Spotify yet. I think it might still be pending too.
There's also the Himalaya. It's another app podcast thing, but I don't know how big that one is.
Yeah,
we'll
so that
have
might
to look into it. But
at least it wasn't on Podbean as like the hey, click this link and
it's
get
probably
set up.
A competitor.
Well, no, like a lot of competitors. Like it has a lot of their competitors on there. Like. You're paying us to host your files, but like anybody who listens to it, they're technically giving us a hit. So
right,
like or the Podbean, they don't care who's listening to it because it's hosted by them.
Right.
So like,
shout out to Podbean.
Yeah,
it's been a really simple, easy service we haven't had any issues yet. So
they haven't screwed up any of our stuff. So
no,
I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Thanks, Podbean.
Yeah. What's up? If you guys listen to this, Podbean, maybe Podbean's the unknown.
They could be.
What if Podbean's the unknown?
I'm still thinking it's like Elon Musk or something.
Or California. Yo. What if does Elon Musk live in California?
He lives in Texas now, I believe.
Texas, okay.
Well, I mean, he's got houses all over.
We've had some hits in Texas. Some plays in Texas.
So.
If we're getting it.
I'm just saying, it could be possible.
It is possible. Maybe Elon's listening to it. He's writing down notes. He's like, I can't wait to release Musk Bucks.
And I can't wait to have them set up the Kool-Aid stand on Mars.
I'm going to invest. Elon's going to invest $1 million Musk Bucks into each of us.
For our Kool-Aid lemonade stands.
And just for founding the idea and keeping our mouths shut from here on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you, Elon. Let's build some shit. And
dude.
Let's improve
Mars currency.
Yeah, let's expand humanity, man. Let's do this. But I'm gonna go ahead and beat you to it this time. How was your week, buddy?
I'm glad you asked.
It's quite welcome.
Is just a normal week for the most part, except for the whole release of Cyberpunk 2077 finally happened.
I am so excited. Man, I want to play it so bad.
If I could go back to year 1, episode 7, and be like, hey, guess what you're going to be doing this week, next year? Actually getting to play this game, I'd be like, yeah, of course I get to play this game. It's kind of been out since like October. And then I'll be like, oh,
young one.
No, well, you see, many things happen. But
2020 is just good luck. That's all I got to say, younger me.
Yeah. But aside from that, I'd be saying it's a fun game. I'll probably dive into it a bit more later. But obviously I'm not going to spoil anything in the game. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but I've been having a great time with it. And I don't know, I mean, some people are unhappy. There's some controversy with it, but I feel like it would be shameful for us to talk about this game so much up to the release
and then not talk about it.
And not even talk about it.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you mentioned it, and then I'll let you get back on with your week. I'm glad that you mentioned it because we've been talking about doing like a Shwaddhup Bruddah gaming stream and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I have decided I'm going to bite the bullet, buy a webcam so we can do just that.
Do it.
And we are going. I don't know the schedule yet. We haven't really talked about it. So
not at all.
Other than on the podcast, what you guys have seen or heard. So me and Tommy will talk about it, and we will figure out when that can happen. And I'm just excited to stream some stuff with you,
dude. On that note, and that actually, as you know, much of a pause from telling them I'm a week is a beautiful transition for it. I've done my third now Friday stream with Zach Fistcake, and dude, they have been a blast. Like, I talked about it last week that we were gonna play Jackbox, and then spoiler alert, like it's been a little bit longer than a week since then. So I've streamed twice since the last time we recorded. We did the Jackbox stream last week. And we had like 2 other people that he streamed with before, and like they're all good friends and stuff. I'm kind of like the new guy getting brought into this group. Jackbox Party Pack 7 was a hoot. Like, me and Lauren and one other person had played it at our house before. Whenever I got it,
is it just like their own games, or is there any games I would know?
Yeah, so they're party pack games. So you have Quiplash is like the mainstay, where it'll be like, what's something you wouldn't want to find in your pocket? And one person would be like, nails, and the other person would be like live bees, and be like, oh, right. And everyone's like, I would hate to have live bees. That one's funnier. Or somebody's like, your grandma's dentures, and he's like, ew, that's gross but funny. And so it's whatever you're playing to the humor of your competition and audience. And it's great for streaming because, like, people who are just watching, once the game starts, they can go to jackbox.tv, type in the code that's in the corner of the screen, and then they get a vote and be like, I think this person's stuff was funnier. And, like, then the audience...
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so their votes count, too. And it kind of gets them involved. And, like, sometimes they can, like, pick answers and stuff like that and, like, play the game along. But, dude, we went through Quiplash. We went through all the games there. And, like, some of them we had played before as just 3 people, and they were not good. But we had a decent group this time. It was hilarious, dude. Like, had a blast. And then this Friday that just happened, it was just me and Zach on this stream, and we played some Slapshot Rebound for, like, 2 hours. Had way more fun than I anticipated us having, and I love the game. Like, the Slapshot, they're my dudes. I don't know if I talked about it last week. Slapshot Rebound.
I don't think so. I don't think you did.
It was like, actually, I stopped playing this game before we ever started doing the podcast. But the closest I've ever been to an e-sport professional, as silly as that is, was
the dream.
This silly hockey game on Steam is a free game called Slapshot, and it was made by this dude Donut Gaz and his buddy Beluga. I never asked him how to fully pronounce his name. And they just two dudes that were like, let's make this silly hockey game. And it like went from being poker chips with paddles to like little, basically like Fall Guys with sticks, and like it evolved, had cosmetics, and then they released on Steam. And I loved it immediately, loved the controls. Like, it was just difficult enough. And I got in with like some cool people. The community was awesome. And I somehow got drafted in to play on a team. And like, what's funny is I had already burnt myself out by the time like the draft came through, but I had put my name in to play. And I got a message that was like, hey, do you still want to play? We finished the draft, but we can do free agents, and I really want you on my team. And I had like a couple people reach out to me on it, and I was like, am I the secret weapon?
Am I the guy?
Am I Jose Akindo, the secret weapon? I have actually a really funny story about Jose Akindo, or not really about Jose Akindo, but it involves him. But that's neither here nor there.
It's about him, not really. It involves.
It's about a song about him.
Kind of.
I used to side story. I'm gonna sidestep real quick. I used to work.
We're falling
with,
back into
this
old
is
habits.
just some typical Shwaddhup Bruddah podcast. I used to work with a guy named Gary, who had written a song called The Secret Weapon. If you've ever listened to like The Point, whenever baseball season's starting, every now and then it gets brought back up, they will play this song, The Secret Weapon. And it's just hilarious that like I know the dude who wrote it. He's not like, I mean, he's a very good musician,
right,
but he's not like like he has a career.
Professional.
Yeah, like he has a normal tech career that like he devotes his time and passion to. But he's also a very good musician.
Right.
But yeah, he wrote this song, and it gets played. It's been played on ESPN even whenever they talk about, because they're like, Jose Akindo does have like an amazing story about, coming up to St. Louis and like getting to play in the majors and like going on to, I think he coached and stuff too. But and he was just like, he was the secret weapon. But yeah, I felt like it's a funny story. Yeah, I know the dude who wrote that song, and it's absolutely worth looking up.
I will have to look that up
song.
For sure.
Yeah. So I got hit up by all these people, and they're like, oh, come back, play on the league with us, play on my team. And I was like, I'm the secret weapon. And I joined, and I was still garbage at the game. I have no idea why people hit me up for it.
That's like me going into Rocket League and saying, all right, guys.
All right, here's the plan.
Here's what we're going to do. Have you ever even played this before, man?
Like, dude, there's no, like,
to be honest
plays.
with you, like 5 times, and I didn't even pay attention to what I was doing.
Like, I'm still figuring it out. But, yeah, pretty much. I was just like, I'm bad at this game, but I'm having a good time, and I have a great attitude. And sometimes that's what matters.
That's all. That's really what's important, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we gotten shit on games,
dude,
and just had so much fun with it?
For real.
Like the time in Tarkov when those 3 guys came up at us.
That was the funniest time we've ever been shit on. Was that whole situation of just like,
I really wish I would have been like screen recording to show you like my character, because like, ooh, I'm in a spinny chair. I can actually, this is perfect. Yeah. I literally was just like on the ground and was like, I don't know if they're gone, and I turn around, and right here is like the guy's feet, and I just like looked up, and then he looked down, and then it was over.
Probably saw your. Oh no, you could. Just Nick moved up. I forgot.
Yeah.
But oh, dude, that was hilarious. So Slapshot 1, I forgot that I was like had a point to my story. I played in a league for that. I was garbage. I quit. And I didn't like. We finished the season, and I was like, thank God that's over, and we did terribly, and we don't have to play in the playoffs. Bye.
More of the story is, don't think you're the guy.
No, you definitely do not. And so I've like still kept in the Discord because it's a small community. The game never blew up big. And like the 2 guys that I got close with from my team, I'm still friends with them on Discord, and we'll like chat every now and then. And so Slapshot Rebound released, I think this week, actually, like earlier in the week. And so I'm like, all right, let's check out what they've changed. And they added like some new mechanics to it. Before, the puck was like glued to the ice. Now they have a mechanic where you can lift the puck off the ground with your stick and, you know, do some cool stuff with that. And like, even it's rare, but you can get the puck out of the rink and then like has to reset play. And I was like, that's a nice touch. But the sound changes to it are nice. The cosmetics changes are nice. And yeah, I mean, it's still like a goofy game about hockey. And whenever it released, like I was like, hey, wow, this is out. I'm really excited to play. And then everyone was like, yo, it's the guy.
It's the guy. It's the machine.
For real, dude. I was like, I gotta treat it like I'm the secret weapon again. And like, it's hilarious because I'll be playing a pug, which is like a, you know, random game, just hitting quick play. And every now and then I'll get matched up against some of these people who have stuck with the game this whole time.
Yeah.
And there's been multiple seasons of this league, and it's evolved from it used to be like, it was like Slappy League, and we were like the JSL League, which is like the Junior Slappy League, and now it's SPL. Like, that's what their league title is now. And like, they've been sticking with it this whole time, and so they're still ridiculously good, and they've all had access to this version of the game since it's been in development, because they're the pro team, like pro players. And I'm running into them getting absolutely destroyed in these random games. And they're like, you going to come back to SPL? I'm like, no, I'm not. Do you see this? I was like, I can't even
You know what you have to do, Bruddah?
Practice.
We will do this.
No. But we streamed it for a few hours and actually ran into a couple of the people there. And it was, I mean, they dunked on us in the game, but like, we had a lot of fun. And, you know, it's still a good time. Like, the community on it's great.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
You always told me to play it. I never got around to it, but
Well, now there's a new one that you can play.
Well, there we go.
I'm just playing it casually, having a good time. If I lose, I lose. I can lose 5 games in a row, whatever. I get the puck, and I'm like, all right, can I move the puck? I'm getting a little bit of skill back, arguably better than I ever was before. Like,
yeah, I mean, I feel like that's always a problem. Once we start trying to
get better.
Well, once we start trying to like take it serious, like we're trying to be pros at it or something, we're just like, ugh, this is garbage.
That's pretty much any game for me that I start taking too seriously. Yeah. But we played that, then we played Fall Guys, had a blast. Like, honestly, the streaming has just been really fun. Like, even though there's been like next to nobody, you know, watching the stream.
Yeah,
I get it. It's like my 3rd stream.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not even like really putting stuff out there a whole lot. I'm like on Facebook, like, hey, go on live now. Here's a link, you know. But I don't know. It's just been a good time, and I'm really excited for you to start streaming, and we're gonna do stuff together. So no matter what, Fridays, 7 p.m. to like up to 11 p.m. at the latest. That's already one time.
I think I could probably actually swing that time.
Maybe what's up?
I'll have to talk to Mariah, but make sure that that's a good day.
To the fiance.
She's usually got to work on Saturday, so that's usually
And even if you don't get the cam right away, like Zach, he used to stream with a camera, but he hasn't been. It's been no cam on his streams. I use mine because I'm like, I bought this thing for a reason. Damn it.
Yeah, I mean, I fully intend to use mine.
Yeah.
I mean, or to get one and use one. You can get webcams pretty cheap.
Yeah, mine's super cheap.
I mean, like $40 will get you a really nice webcam.
Yeah. See, I think I even spent. Mine was only like 20. It was like an Aukey AU-KEY, and
I think that was one of the ones I was looking at.
It's like a 1080. It does just fine. It's not like the world's best picture, but
no.
I mean, heck, it captures my whole room, and then I like screen region it down to just be around my face. So like, good enough.
Oh man, yeah, I'm excited. Mariah, she redecorated the office a little bit and rearranged a few things. You have to see it. It looks really nice.
Looking forward to it.
I'm pretty excited to get the new desk that I'm working on up and going and have that all part of the stream set up. So
I'm looking forward to seeing it all together. But I've been rambling enough already, and I almost let us go by without saying, how was your week, buddy?
Well, I really appreciate you asking, Bruddah.
Can't let you down.
My week, it was a little bit of a rough one. Had to work a lot as usual, but other than that, got a lot of stuff done at the same time. Built this guy, what you see.
Yeah, dude, shout out to you. This thing is beautiful. Looks so good.
I'm really impressed with how it turned out. It's not exactly what I was like envisioning when I first like talked to you about it.
Yeah.
But I honestly kind of like it even more. So I've got a couple things to finish on it. Like I've told you, I'm going to put some LED lighting and whatnot on it. And
yeah, that'll be really, really cool.
Yeah. I'm excited for everybody to see it. And, this is just another step of year 2 in consistency. So, new thing added.
Yeah, there we go. Another
new
sweet upgrade to the Shwaddhup Bruddah podcast hour.
Yeah, and then I also have been making my desk and shelves and stuff, which
a lot of progress there.
If I think about it, I'll put a picture up about right now that you can see. Yeah, somewhere
right around this area.
And
Van will white it for you.
Thank you. Please keep going.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you look at the desk right here, this is some like flooring I got off of a job that I did. And, so on the desk I used that there and on here, but, it looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how it turns out in the office, and
there's a lot of good variation to it. That's what I like.
Yeah. I mean, and this is not perfect. I mean, I showed you some imperfections in it, and I'm sure looking at it, you could probably see some stuff, but
up close is always different.
But I mean, nothing the camera's going to be picking up or,
no.
And once I get it finished, it's going to be chef's kiss. So
heck yeah, dude.
But no, other than that, I mean, it's really just been working and sleeping and, the same old stuff that Josh does.
Nothing new there.
Right. But I'm pretty excited to see what next week brings. I'm just going with the flow and trying to pick up as many projects and side jobs as I can. So I'm working full, and
yeah, that's for sure.
What I really am looking forward to right now, especially with this podcast, is I obviously look forward to recording and getting this stuff done, but I am very much looking forward to streaming.
I think it'll be really fun and like a cool way to grow the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's going to be, it's just something else to add to the podcast. Me and you have worked pretty hard on this podcast, and, I don't know, it just like, I get more and more excited to add on to it, to grow it and whatnot. So, but enough about that. Let's get on with episode 7.
Yeah.
We didn't even really talk about what we were going to talk about. So,
well, definitely going to talk about Cyberpunk, because
I figured that was a given.
Got a whole lot to say about that.
Little update on merch. I'm a little slow on making some designs or whatever. We're playing around with what we got and what we can do. So don't hold your breath, but we'll get it eventually. So it might be year 3.
Yeah, it might be for the year 2 finale. We'll have some merch release.
Yeah, but aside from that, real quick, be looking forward to our next episode. We got a little bit of talking to do, me and you.
Christmas planning.
Yeah, that's gonna be really fun though. Keep an eye out for that episode. I'm super excited to wear some Christmas PJs, drink some hot cocoa, and just do the Shwaddhup Bruddah thing.
Heck yeah, dude! That's what we do best.
Chit-ya.
But I guess I can dive in and start talking about some Cyberpunk.
Yeah, dude, let's hear it. I'm super excited, and I know you're pretty good about this, but I'm just going to throw it up anyway. Spoiler warning in case something
slips, but I will be doing my absolute best to not say anything story related.
Which you would be way better than I would, because I'd just be like, oh, this happened and this happened.
It's been so hard, and I'm gonna try to still be descriptive about things, but like honestly, I'm having an absolute blast playing the game. There's been a lot of controversy out there. Like, there's first off, the console release for it is a horrible just flop. Like on the next gen consoles, if it's out for it yet, I don't remember exactly, but I know like on the Xbox One Series X, where it's like the S, I don't remember how Xbox does their naming convention, but like the Pro version of the new not the new Xbox, last gen Xbox, and the same with PS4, like PS4 Pro, no problem. Stock PS4, like release day PS4s, literally can't play the game. Like,
wow. That's sad.
It looks like GTA Vice City and plays like...
It's like if it got ported to the Switch.
Yeah, pretty much. But the Switch port will probably happen and be better.
Probably. Hopefully
it'll be optimized.
Yeah.
But it's been a very unfortunate story to hear from like console players with it. So, you know, feel for them. Like, my heart goes out to them. I know it sucks to like be this excited for a game that's been in development for this long. Be told by the developers it runs surprisingly well on last gen consoles.
I'm not gonna lie, based on what you've told me so far, I'm rather disappointed in CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, that's been the general consensus, is like, you guys just...
And maybe that's kind of our fault for putting them up on that pedestal and having that, you know, holding that high expectation.
Yeah. I could agree with that.
And I'm not at all trying to shit on them, because most of the stuff from what it sounds like is fixable through patches and stuff.
Yeah, and I think it will be fixed.
But I mean, I don't want to give anything away, so I'm gonna let you keep talking.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll keep mowing this yard.
Thanks, Bruddah. I'm gonna go weed eat.
All right, but yeah. So like, I'm having a good time on PC. By no means do I have a supercomputer. I've got a 1050 Ti, which is like an affordable graphics card, literally like, you know, touted as like the cheap, good enough card right now. Used to be a really good card. But you know, 1050 Ti, like I have 16 gigs of RAM. I have a good processor, but like nothing on this PC is insane. It doesn't play the game super crazy good, but it plays it, you know. So I get frame rate that's enjoyable enough for me to play. It's not like I'm stuttering constantly, but
right,
you know, I don't think I'd be able to stream it and it be like enjoyable for a viewing audience, but playing it is fine. There's been some visual bugs of like, I don't know, like arm positions resetting in cutscenes. Like while somebody's talking to me, it's like boom, boom, like their arm just shoots up.
Yeah, I've seen some videos of like people like just phasing through the elevator, or when you get in the car, they'll be like, their head will be sticking through the roof, and then they'll just kind of like slowly. I haven't
had anything like quite that bad happen. I've had some weird elevator scenes.
To be honest, though, and like, I know this is going to be kind of laughable, but it kind of adds to the cyberpunk feel of that the glitchy.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Of like
if you look through it through that lens, I would say it would be a little less frustrating.
Yeah, and to me, I'm just like, I look at it through the lens of, I'm playing a freaking video game.
Well, that too. I mean,
you know,
like I said, that stuff is all going to be fixed real quick. Yeah. I guarantee it. So it's nothing that I would be complaining about for sure. No. I'd just be like, oh yeah, it's a little buggy, but this is still a blast. Yeah. I really cannot wait to get this game,
dude. It's so worth. It was worth the wait of delays. I think it could have been probably delayed a little bit more with some more love and attention, but I think they have it in a place that, for myself, it's good enough that I can boot it up, do some things that like I want to do, maybe hit some side missions. I've been really like backing off of the main story. Like I didn't do every side mission that's like out there in the first act, but they're all still available in the second act right now.
I'm always like, I'll do like the first one or two quests, if you will, in the main line, and then I'll just side quest it out.
And honestly, like, super worth doing. And it tells you, oh, this is like high danger, moderate danger, there's no danger, and things like that for how difficult a mission's gonna be. And so like I did a good chunk of the side jobs, but I was mainly doing these like little like random generated events that pop up where it's like police brutality, not police brutality. That's where the police are beating people. Just like a assault reported, and you'll get like updates through a police scanner that's like, hey, anybody who wants to just go take care of this, like these things are going on. So then you go to whatever the icon is. It's usually like a baseball bat with nails, and there's like a group of gang members beating up on a civilian, and you blatantly murder all of the gang members in cold blood.
Yeah, I mean this is a very mature game. Yeah. So
you do have the option of non-lethal.
Parents, don't let your kids play it.
Definitely do not let your not to call out my parents, but I grew up being allowed to play R-rated games at a young age.
I mean, I played some M-rated games too, but
but I will say, do not let your kids play this game.
This game has taken it to the next level of, think of like Fox late at night versus like HBO.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty fair. So yeah, they take it pretty far in this game, but you do have the option to do non-lethal takedowns. Like you can mod any of your guns that have like a mod slot to change it to non-lethal weapon, and it'll even increase the damage for it. And then instead of, blood splatter, like they fall on the ground and roll around the whole time, and they never seem to get back up. So it effectively is the same thing. I wonder if there might be like some sort of thing to fight against that doesn't, if it's non-lethal damage, it won't do it. I don't know, but you'll even have some missions where they're called like, they have cyber psychosis, where like they've gone crazy because they've had too many like implants and
too many cybernetics.
Yeah, and like the implant system in the game is super cool. I'll definitely get into that, but you'll get these reports. So you show up to like one of the question marks for the side quest, and then you'll get a call from Regina, who's like a higher up in the like police stuff, and they're like, hey, we've got a report from this, blah blah blah. I'm gonna send you a text with the details. Then you get a text and it shows you like a picture of the person, gives you some backstory, and they'll be like, we're trying to figure this stuff out. Please make sure you do not kill them. And so I haven't noticed really a big difference between killing them and not killing them, but like I killed the first one and they were like, we're disappointed, but try not to do it again. So then I've done non-lethals on the next two, and they've been like, we appreciate your, blah, blah, blah. It'll really help us out with our research and all this stuff. But the lore in the game has been really cool. Like Cyberpunk, as a IP, has a whole lot of lore. It's like D&D, but, it's a different system, which, fun fact, whenever you buy Cyberpunk, in the game files is the source book for the Cyberpunk tabletop RPG.
Really?
Yeah. Which, like, it's not like CD Projekt Red came up with it. They, as a company, just go, we like this obscure thing, let's make a game out of it. That's how The Witcher came about.
Right.
And, like, honestly, in my opinion, I think, like, the TV series and everything owes it to CD Projekt Red. And CD Projekt Red itself owes it to just The Witcher 3, because as much as I loved playing the first Witcher game, Director's Cut, on my first custom PC build, like that was the game I bought at Micro Center because it was on the shelf and looked cool.
Right.
Played it, loved it, found out about the Witcher series, played the second game after it came out, loved it, started reading the books, played The Witcher 3, was like, oh my God, this game. Everyone else is like, oh my God, this game. And
yeah, I mean, it was touted to be the best RPG.
And I would argue it definitely is. And, you know, like so the whole Witcher series, I think, owes it to that. Even though the books themselves are like the source material and staying on that, CD Projekt Red is able to take something that they're just fans of and really bring it into mainstream with that now.
Right.
And they've done the same thing with Cyberpunk. Because, like, if you go on Steam and search Cyberpunk, there are hundreds of games built off of this built off of this lore, off of these systems, in the same way that you can find Dungeons and Dragons games.
Yeah. Or Warhammer
games. There's so many, but like they never really get as mainstream as Cyberpunk has.
Right.
You know, like and The Witcher has, which were originally very niche, weird nerd stuff.
Which I will say, I mean, I've never read the books or anything. I've learned about a lot about The Witcher through you and like talking to you about it, but I have absolutely, I mean, I loved the TV show. Yeah. One day I'm going to play The Witcher 3.
It'll be worth all 100 hours. If they come out with Witcher 4,
I might just skip right to that. I don't know.
You owe it to yourself for The Witcher 3 no matter what. It's such a good game.
It's definitely something that I plan on playing. It's been on my wish list for God knows how long. Yeah.
It's so good to the point that, like, I'm remembering things about The Witcher 3 and the world and how alive it really felt going through it. Like, you could travel back after doing something and, like of course, the whole game, everybody would call you the Butcher of Blaviken because that's just Geralt's name to people. Like, he is an infamous Witcher because of that date, because of that event, of all that, you know, just killing those handful of people in Blaviken, but he is now the Butcher of Blaviken. And so that you get called that, but then, like, as you do other stuff in the story, you pick up other nicknames. You'll get people called that. How you handle stuff, the world reacts to that. They dropped the ball with that in Cyberpunk so far. The world, like...
See, and that's very upsetting. I mean, I feel like that's very misleading to what they were advertising.
They toted such a live world, and like
they were like, do anything, be anybody you want to be.
But it doesn't, like the only people you can have an actual press F to talk and it starts a conversation is shops and quest givers. And other than that, like, you walk up to a random person, like, at a shop that's not necessarily, like, it's not a shop that you can buy something at, but it's like a little, like okay, so the city's, like, broken up into sections, and they're all, like, culturally different. So I started out in an area that was very Japanese inspired. So there's, like, a little takoyaki shop. Some of these dudes, like, and he's there, like, cooking takoyaki, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And you press F to talk, and I'm like, oh, what's he going to say? And it just goes like, buzz off. And I'm like, what?
Oh,
that was weird.
That's so, like, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like,
and I go and, like, talk to this random person on the street, and it's like, what do you want? Like, to talk to you. Like, why did I get a button that came up and said talk if we're not going to talk? If you're just going to give me one of, like, 30 randomized lines.
Right. Yeah, so, no, I really hope they fix that. And I mean, I don't know if that's something that's fixable through a patch.
I think it could be. I mean, essentially, you can change any game file through a patch.
Right. Yeah, I understand. I just don't know how difficult it is, or,
like,
you know.
If you think about RuneScape, the RuneScape that just got released on Steam, RuneScape 3, is technically just the continuously updated version from that game we played in middle school, where we're, you know, and it's still all the same stuff. It's just it's been patched, and oh, suddenly this patch was a graphical patch.
No, you're right.
Like, I think it can be. I think it's a lot of work, and it's something that I hope they do. I don't know if that's going to be the top of their list because they have a lot of things that they just need to, like, straight up fix for people.
Well, and I think they will probably start out with just the bugs. Fix the bugs.
I mean,
I hope that then after that they really focus on making this what they touted it to be.
Yeah.
because when me and you have talked about it several times, this game was going to be, just the next level of the next standard of what immersion should be.
And there are so many aspects of it where I'm like, okay, they did it, but they like got halfway there. Like, so many buildings are enterable. So many.
It's like they gave the face of nooks. It, but then when you actually get behind that face, substance. You're like, this is the same thing.
It's the deepest world.
This is Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, but not like, at least in Grand Theft Auto, the places you can go into are interactable. You go into a bowling alley, you can bowl. Right. You can throw darts. You can play pool. You can, walk into a theme park and sit on the roller coaster. Does it do anything for you? No. Does it essentially just, sorry, I got hiccups, you put your character model in there and lock your camera to it, and you just get to see the path of the roller coaster? Absolutely. But you can still do it.
Yeah.
There's none of that.
See, it'd be really nice if they would add stuff like that and actually make it matter.
Yeah, there's pachinko machines.
Like you get on a roller coaster or whatever, say you're on a mission or whatever, and you decide, oh, hey, there's the roller coaster. I'm going to go do the roller coaster real quick on the way to the mission. And then, like, say an aspect of the mission changes because you took the time to go do that and you didn't go straight there, and it was an important thing. Like,
I don't even care if you do that, honestly. Like, just let me ride a roller coaster. Let me go into this huge, like, I'm doing a mission where they're like, they're setting up this illegal pachinko, gambling room underneath my building and blah, blah, blah. They're going to draw attention from the cops and they're going to come sniffing around. And you're like, okay. So you go in and you're in this pachinko room and it's like all fully modeled, sounds, lights, everything's happening. You kill the people, but you can't play any pachinko machine that's there. Like, you can't go there before, you can't come there after and play with it. It's all there. You can stand right next to it, but you can't play the game, which pachinko, I don't really understand it, but essentially you're just like dumping metal balls into something and it's like a whole bunch of crazy stuff going on, but it's like, it's a Japanese form of gambling. It's like a slot machine almost that you have a little bit of control over. And so it's like, it'd be cool if you could just do that, even if it was just like press A to put more balls in, hit X to spit them out when, like, you lost 100 yen. It's not yen, it's like Euro dollars or something like that. Or eddies is what everybody calls them. That's the, like, in-game currency, eddies. But it doesn't have any of that. Like, you can't go up to a guy at a freaking hot dog stand and buy a hot dog off of him.
It's like, that's not the immersion.
Yeah.
They touted.
You go into a clothing shop where, this is like, if you ever play the Cyberpunk tabletop game, which probably nobody is, but like, if you do,
I'm interested.
You're also interested in D&D, and you've had an opportunity to play that for a few years.
Yeah, but I gotta have the time.
Yeah. So, like, there's an aspect of even the tabletop that, like, what your character wears and how they look matters. One of your stats is coolness, which is essentially just your stealth stat in the game right now. But, like, it is an aspect of the game. Mm-hmm. It is a core thing, is like how you look. Right now in the game, like, you go to a clothing store and they're like, we got 3 chest items, 3 pants, 3 shoes, 3 jackets, 3 hats. Like, and just pick one of these 3. And there's a ton of clothing options out in the game, but this clothing store somehow only has a small selection for you to choose from.
Right.
None of them go together. None of them are really related to the, like, style that the store is supposed to be. It's just a randomized vendor that's like, here's 3 pieces of semi-level appropriate gear for your character currently.
See, that's very frustrating, man.
Exactly.
That makes me upset.
My character looks really goofy right now because their outfit is just, I killed 20 people, 20 gang members, and this was all their loot, and this hat was better than my helmet, so I'm now wearing a hat instead of a helmet, and this guy's business suit top looks really nice, cool, and put those on, but unfortunately the best pants I have are a pair of denim cutoffs, so I got Daisy Dukes and high tops on with a business suit and a cowboy hat. I look goofy, but my stats are good.
My stats are great.
And it's like...
Yeah, see, that's...
Thank God it's a first-person game. If it was third-person, I had to look at myself. My God, how like other characters are not just pissing themselves laughing when seeing my character in a cutscene.
That is just a disappointment. I mean...
Yeah. So there's...
Seriously, I really, really hope they fix that and kind of update that stuff, because...
I think they will.
And I'm not saying at all that I'm not going to enjoy it for what it is, because it sounds like it's still really, really fun.
At the end of the day, I'm still loving to boot it up, get in. The world looks beautiful. You can go into all these places. A lot of them seem to have reason. Like some of them, I've like kind of brute forced my way into an area where I'm like, oh, this is neat, but nothing's really here for me. And then I'm like, oh, I think this is like a mission area later, but I'm in here now. Like, in the sense of an open world RPG, that's something I want. I want to be able to get to something just because I've like done whatever is need to be done to like get through it. Even if that is like just following a path that's like a, kind of platform puzzle or something, or dumping all your stats into one stat just so you can like get past the checkpoint thing. Of course, saving before doing so, getting past the said checkpoint and going, oh, there's nothing for me here, reloading and redistributing my stats. Typical gamer stuff.
Right. The hacks.
So I'm still enjoying it. Like those randomized police beatdowns, by no means are they like the depth of gameplay, but I enjoy grinding XP, like getting levels, getting gear, getting good stuff. And then whenever I go do these small minuscule side missions, all of them are like unique and interesting, where it's like, hey, this dude is an artist and he had this stolen from him, blah, 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 get it back. And like, there's some really trippy aspects of the game. Like one of them's called Brain Dance, where somebody will like have this, eye augment installed that will record everything visually and audio and like it does like a whole bunch of crazy features to it, and you can like review a brain dance, and you're like fast forwarding through stuff and switching through layers to view things to like get the whole point of them is supposed to be like you can view a brain dance and you're experiencing a certain event.
It's like some Black Mirror shit right there.
Exactly, it really is. To the point even that like some people like the black market for is to find what they call flat lines, where it's like the person recording it gets killed during it, and then you experience like them dying, and at the last second of it is them dying, and then you're back to real world and like you just experienced
it's almost death. Like a drug or something.
Exactly. So that's like an aspect of the game. I seriously just forgot where I was gonna go. Oh no, side quest.
Okay.
So one of them was they're like, hey, they're trying to figure out who killed this preacher's son, and where on the street there's a brain dance of the kid getting killed by the person who did it. Like, so the killer recorded it and sold the brain dance off to then be edited and like sold out from there in black market. That's just a side quest in the game. That's just like pop up, hey, do this. You're going through this insane building that's like the bottom is like a storefront of something, and like you go through and there's multiple levels, and you get to the very top and there's a father and a son that are both in these chairs, and they're like talking to each other while they're editing different ones, and like you wake them up and they're like, oh snap, and like you go through this whole conversation. They like beg for their lives. You get the files, and like they explain like how their business goes. And of course, me being a gamer, saved after they gave me the file and was like, well, what happens if you then kill one of them?
Right.
So I shot the son, and the dad's reaction like was gut wrenching. And like the way he did, I was like, oh my God. So I reloaded.
Like, I'm sorry. I'll put him back.
I just wanted to see what happened. And so like I reloaded and I was like, well, what happens if I kill the dad? So I did that. And the son like has his own specific reaction, but the dad drops a chat log between him and somebody else who's like, I can't believe you're getting into this stuff. It's disgusting. You know, it's one thing for you to like do these things, but then you're doing these other things. You're dragging your son into it. I can't believe I can't believe who you are anymore. And then like if you hack into their computer, it has like all these emails that are like really messed up stuff that I'm like, oh my God, they're making videos of this. So I reloaded again and shot them both. I was like, you guys don't deserve to be around. This is some messed up stuff. But like just how deep and like how much info was going on and how much just world existed in that side story. Put that in the rest of the world.
If that was the rest of the game, this would be a phenomenal, like 100, 10 out of 10.
Like if it just somehow could bridge that all into like a real reality. And like at one point, whenever they're like begging for their lives, the dad's like, if you kill us, somebody else is just going to take our place. Somebody else is going to do it. We just do what the people ask for. And like, you know, you definitely see like where he's coming from on that. But like now with him saying that and I killed them, am I going to get a side quest later where, you know, it's their replacement?
Right.
Or if I didn't kill them, would I have a different side quest?
Like you go in there and you talk to them like, oh yeah, the last two guys didn't end up so well or something like that.
Or they just say their name at all.
It's like there's a guy and his son or something like that.
Like that would be enough for me. And I hope it happens. Or like like I said, if I didn't kill them, would that side quest be something that they're doing that job? Like they said, you know, someone's going to be doing it anyway. So because they're dead, somebody else took up that torch and is doing the same job. Or, you know, and if I didn't kill them, would they be doing this job that I have the quest for later?
Right.
I don't know if CD Projekt Red really put that much thought into it, but
we definitely need to tag them in this. I know that none of them will listen to it, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah. It's like, listen from somebody who loves the game but wants it to be better. If the world could be alive like it is during a very like detailed mission. Because like I said, that's just a side quest. The main story quests are like that tenfold. They are absolutely insane. And you can definitely tell like they did not skip on the love put into these to the main story. But it feels like, I had said this to you before the recording, but it was described in one Reddit comment that Night City, which is the location of the game, feels like the world's deepest, best loading screen while you go from mission to mission. Like, what you experience in a mission is so unlike the open world experience. But I'll say, like, even if the world isn't that interactable, it doesn't feel that alive. Just walking around and looking up, like just staring at the sky while you walk down the street is amazing. You feel like a tourist.
Oh, I'm sure it's like it's a beautiful game. You know, that is one thing. Any pictures I've seen, I've just been like, damn, they did a great job designing in this.
And like, I feel like I can go absolutely anywhere. I barely drive in the game. I do not use the fast travel whatsoever. Now I've only been limited to like the top North Island, and now I have like the whole game map just unlocked to me in this part. And just so you know, no spoilers, everybody knows Keanu Reeves is in the game.
Right.
Finally got to the part of the game with him. Holy crap, it was amazing. It is some mind bend stuff.
I'm definitely excited to play it, man.
It's super cool.
My gosh.
But
I'm jealous.
I can understand it. I won't even tell you not to be. Just know that I think about you while I play it. And I will say,
brother,
like,
that means a lot to me.
I thought about recording and like doing like a YouTube playthrough or a Twitch stream, but first off, everybody and their mother's streaming this game. It's not like I'm going to get a single follower who's just like, oh wow, finally. I've been looking everywhere for somebody who's going to stream Cyberpunk.
Right.
This guy finally has the courage to do it. Like, everyone's streaming it. So there's that. My computer doesn't play it that well enough to stream it. And, like, I want it to be an experience for me. Like, I just want me in the game, have a good time.
Right.
Maybe after my first playthrough, after some patches, I'll do a stream with it or something. But, you know, and if we're going to do some streams of it, if they ever do a multiplayer, which they do anticipate releasing a multiplayer in it. But
one thing that would be pretty cool for us to do is, like, I mean, start it over at the same time.
Yeah.
And, like, do similar things but make different decisions based on...
And just see how it really pans out instead of me just doing, like, play a game for 2 hours and then reload that and see if my choices make any difference.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
I mean, we can even we'll try our best to line it up to where shit happens, which I know that's obviously dependent on computer hardware and stuff like that. But it'd be, I don't know, I think it'd be pretty cool to look at that side by side or
I agree.
Something of the sort.
I think it was a good idea. But I know I've definitely pointed out a lot of the flaws when we've been talking, but, like, it is a good game. It's been really fun. As you know, I just keep the mindset of I'm playing a video game. It's not perfect. It's buggy. It's glitchy. It probably could have spent longer time in development, but I also feel like at some point, like, you get diminishing returns on that development time and development cycle, and you know they've had so many points where they've had to restart from scratch, and it's like, just get the game out there at this point. It's playable. I'm having a great time. I'm not having any of the issues that people are saying, but I do realize that the issues exist.
Well, like I said, the bugs, I can get past the bugs.
Yeah.
That's stuff that, I mean, every single game that comes out, there's bugs.
Yeah. It's the choices of the world not
what
really
they touted for the game to be, and it's not quite that. It sounds like.
I think if they got the police to chase you would be a big change, because right now, say you shoot a civilian on accident because they walked in front of you while you're shooting these gang members on the street, which is perfectly legal and fine to shoot and kill the gang members. They do not care about that. But if you accidentally hit a civilian, they will be on you like a fly on rice, or white on rice. I mixed up two.
Fly on rice.
Like stink on shit. So like you shoot somebody and then they spawn 3 cops behind you, just out of thin air, just pop, 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 right next to you. And then now you have cops on you. And you like run out of their vision cone and crouch and wait a minute and they despawn. And it's like
easy Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. And like no matter how many people you kill, you just like get a little bit down the road.
I mean, you could do that in Grand Theft Auto, but you at least had to get pretty far away from him and get to a good hiding spot.
And you would see them like, you know, start coming, and the game would obviously see like, okay, you're coming down this way. Well, we're going to spawn a cop car, you know, a little further ahead out of like your loading range, but they'll make sure it's there. Like,
right.
It definitely does that. And it's fine for them to be like, you know, oh, we're going to have to load a cop in down the street because you're running down the street, but load the cop in, make it feel like I'm actually having to run from them, like they've had some sort of call in about me, but instead they're like, you've been reported, here's cops.
Yeah.
What? This is a little jarring.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like there's definitely some things that they could definitely be working on to increase that immersion and make it the game that they touted it to be.
They've already had, I think, 2 patches. There's the day 1 patch, obviously, which is like,
it's pretty standard.
At the moment the game releases, they release the patch, and it, you know, gets it up to the point that they expect it to for that. But there's been one more patch after that addresses, so like that brain dance stuff I was talking about. The very first time you get introduced to it in the game, they put like this headset on you. And it has these like little screens here, and they flash blue and red lights, which is like how you trigger an epileptic seizure.
Yeah.
like to the point that the device that they put on your head is like almost identical to one used in epilepsy research that is used to trigger epileptic seizures, like intentionally for research. And they put it on the screen in the game. And so people with epilepsy get to this screen, and if they don't look away, is like a huge chance of getting a grand mal seizure.
Yeah, that's not good.
So they've already patched in an alternate scene for that I guess changes it, and
I guess you can not say something risk. Like,
yeah, I don't know exactly what it was because I already got through this.
Another
scene.
thing that I did see in Force streamers and stuff is you can turn off royalty.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Music, so like any music that's playing, you don't have to worry about getting
copyright claim,
right, or struck or anything like that. Yeah. I thought that was a brilliant idea, and I think a lot of games are going to follow suit with that.
I think they should. Like, why make it more difficult for somebody to stream your game?
Seriously.
Especially if you have like a competitor game that's, in the same kind of genre or whatever, and one has a mode that makes it real easy for streamers that like keeps offensive names and avatars randomized,
right,
and, keeps out copyrighted music. Like, if they can just go click a button that says I'm streaming and it changes these things, then they're going to pick that over the one that they're like, well, can't post this video because this person's name is just 2 racial slurs followed by a cuss word, and I can't have that floating on my screen for 15 minutes.
Right.
That's a hate crime. Like, like, I'm not supporting it, but I can't put it out there.
Right.
But so yeah, I think it's something that we'll see.
So I've heard like little things like that I've just been like, that's a really good idea, and that's not something I've really heard anybody else doing. But then, man, just the letdowns.
Yeah,
I'm like I said, I don't think it's gonna. I'm still gonna enjoy the game.
Absolutely,
I'm still gonna love it. But it'd be really nice if they'd add that stuff.
And like we said, I think they will. I'm sure they're. I bet they all had hoped, like, we're going to release this game and get some sleep. No, unfortunately not.
Sorry, CD Projekt Red.
Keep on the crunch. It's awful. And honestly, like, they've really overworked their development team. Like, and everybody just that's working on the game. Like, they've had reports of just, like, the amount of hours that they work in a day, in a week even.
Right.
How little sleep they get because they're spending their whole time just working on it. It's like, on one hand, I'm like, just go home and sleep, guys. Like,
seriously,
start working on the patches later.
Freaking.
But the community is so ferocious right now that is like, they're basically calling for like the heads of CD Projekt Red. And it's like, y'all need to put your pitchforks and torches down.
Right. This is a video game.
Yeah. There are some glaring issues that need to be taken care of, and there's some things that like you can't really you can make a person of color, but like not really. Like, there's been a lot of people who are like, I've spent an hour in this character creator trying to make somebody who just looks like me, and it's like, somebody who's posting this is African American, like, I just want somebody who looks like me, and the best I can get is a guy who looks like he's slightly darker Indian. Like a Middle Eastern Indian, and they're like, you have all these other options for inclusivity, but like, you're leaving, black people out completely.
It's like,
and one of the people high up in CD Projekt Red is black, and like, how are you gonna? You can't make yourself in this game, dude. Like, how is that not weird?
Yeah, it's one of those things that, like, I mean, I definitely think that there needs to be. I mean, if you want to make yourself green, I think you should be able to do that.
And you can. If you want to be like, I don't want nipples, you can have. That's an option to not have nipples. Still have like pecs, no nips. That's an option. You can make yourself transgender.
That's stuff like that. I would think that's some patches coming early.
Inclusive,
but
yet so exclusive.
I would think that's coming early in a patch or something. Hopefully,
maybe we'll see.
But
either way, don't let me steer you away from the game because it's wonderful. If it's something that you're like, I don't want to play a unfinished game, then congratulations, you get to set your own release date. You know what I mean? That's all I have to say to people. Like, if you can take a game with a grain of salt, play it with the issues it has.
Play it for what it is. I mean, like we've been talking about and said many times, the game for what it is really fun.
Yeah.
If don't go into it with the expectations that they gave us.
Yeah. That is what most people's problem is that it's not like we're really twisting the words from their mouths, taking it out of context.
Say in the trailer for it, be who you want to be in Night City.
Yeah. And that's a vague enough marketing term that I can be like, okay, they're going to be able to spin that around.
But then it's followed up by, if you want to do this, you can do that. The factions and all this stuff and
isn't there.
It's just like whenever we start talking about this, when you got here tonight, I was like, went from like
through the moon
to you just kicked me in the balls, brother.
I know. I just want people to like to realize what they're getting. This isn't the game that everybody thought it was gonna be. It is still so fun. Still having a blast with it.
And like we said, it's
gonna get
it's
patched.
week 1, so
yeah,
we'll
think
see.
About
not even week.
Like Borderlands 3, the most recent Borderlands we've played. Whenever it released, it got kind of shit on, honestly.
Yeah.
We played it whenever it released onto Steam. That was like the game of the year with free DLC and all this and that, and it's 50% off. And we were like, this game's amazing.
Yeah, it was a freaking blast, man.
Yeah.
There's actually more DLC that we said we want to go play again when we get to a point where we need a game to go back to.
That'll be a real good stream game, I think.
It would be.
But like,
especially with us, and our freaking money grenades.
Oh, dude, that's so insane. But yeah, like that's just it's a perfect example of something that released, flopped, and has like really turned itself around. Or like No Man's Sky is a super good one.
That's a very good example of that.
Back of just,
even though I get bored super fast of it,
and I think that's more of
the leaps and bounds that they've made in that game from day one. Is just good on them for keep trying to make it better.
I think the boredom's more of just the like type of game it is. It's a casual, fly around and see things.
Set your own quest kind of thing.
Yeah, like
do what you want to do.
Make your own fun.
Which, in a sense, like me and you have sat there for hours waiting at space stations to see what cool ships fly in. Like, and that was fun while we were doing it. Yeah. But then other games came out and we're like I'm not gonna waste my time doing that when I can play this.
And it's fun whenever we're sitting talking, goofing off doing that. But like, if we're trying to be entertaining for a stream, and we can't just sit and chill and wait to see all the spaceships. Like, we probably wouldn't be playing No Man's Sky anyway, because like I said, me and Zach realized it's not the most riveting of gameplay.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's so many games that have came out with promises that just didn't come to fruition, that maybe get themselves a little bit closer, and in my opinion, in terms of No Man's Sky, surpassed a lot of the original promises, and taken
definitely
leaps and bounds from there.
There's like 30 things, I can't name them, but I could think of off the top of my head,
living ships
that they have added in that is drastically different from
multiplayer
when they first released the
different types of space stations. They've changed the
They have a freaking mech suit you can walk around in now.
Multiple exocrafts. There's different, all a huge expansion on the whole, like the multi-tool thing, like different types of blasters with it.
To the point where when I loaded it back up, I was like, dude, I'm lost.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, I don't know if I should just start a new game.
Right.
Because
But then I look at my credits and I'm like, I'm not starting a new game unless I can transfer these over somehow. It's not that I'm aware of.
But
because we are filthy rich in that game.
Definitely. So I am confident CD Projekt Red will continue to update it. There will be more customization to come out and ways to change it. That was like, I not that I'm like a not CD Projekt Red, but not a Cyberpunk like lore aficionado, but I know enough that like these types of civilizations where you can like body mod to the heart's content, to not have a place that you can go to completely change everything about how you look seems insane. Like, all the stuff from the Culture series is like you can think about changing your gender and fully change your gender, not like, oh, I got an operation. It's like your body's just like, all right, I'm going to reconfigure myself over the course of a month because I've thought about it long enough that I want to do this.
Right.
Like, I expected that form of post-creation customization to be able to just like go to the Ripper Doc.
And I don't think anybody's going to fault you for thinking that.
Because that's how it was touted.
Well, and
toted.
It seemed like you could even become like a Ripper Doc, or something like that, and be like, get really good at the hacking and stuff. So like it almost seemed like when multiplayer came around, it was like, hey, you could go to this player and get good mods from him because his Ripper Doc level is higher.
Yeah.
Like
does not seem you can
that's how I took it whenever I first like started looking into this game and how they were touting it and stuff, and it was just like, that is amazing. Tarkov did it with the market
modular and the flea market and stuff.
The flea market was like such a, before they patched it and changed it a bunch, when we first started playing it, that was such a brilliant system. Yeah,
it was overran with bots, which is why they changed it. But
right, and if you can
suffer from it,
if there was some way you could get away from that without changing it for the other players, that would be amazing. I realize it's easier said than done.
Yeah. To not have to be a developer is great.
Right, like I feel for the developers because they do a lot of hard work and then they get shit. Their project gets shit on. But that was such a brilliant system in Tarkov because you felt like you were actually trading on a live market. I mean, you essentially were.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was a virtual non-real money or
Red Bull
thing like that. But like,
it was 1,500 rubles one day and 2,500 rubles the next.
Right. I mean, you could like we said many episodes ago, you could literally sit there for hours just on the market trading stuff.
Yeah.
Because it would fluctuate that fast, and you could find these patterns in. I mean, it was just like trading stocks on the stock market.
Oh, okay. Well, there's only like one page of this item that for some reason is like $3,000 lower than the rest. Somebody like tried to crash the price down. Well, I'm gonna buy up all of their crash items.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna sell them at what everyone else is selling it at and make $2,000 per item.
Yeah, and which that was many times. That's how I got my money back to build my ridiculous builds. Or as they call it, the meme builds.
The meme builds, yeah. 3 flashlights, 4 laser sights.
Hey, I did it. The multiple laser sights, I will say, dude, that's intimidating as hell.
I'm sure.
But no, that was a brilliant thing, and it really seemed like that kind of immersion was going to be in Cyberpunk. And it sounds like in some ways, like with the side quests and how detailed they are, it does get that way.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I don't know.
I want to feel that immersed while I'm not in a quest.
I'm not sure if our camera is still on.
We have went a little
and
long.
We are, yes, we're right there. So
yeah, we'll go ahead and long story short, Cyberpunk 2077. Play it if you want to play it now. Otherwise, wait until some patches go out. Don't worry. When it's fixed, the world will know. Like, people will be like, Cyberpunk's what it's supposed to be now. So,
yeah.
So wait for that if you feel inclined to it. But otherwise, I only have one question for you after this lovely long episode.
I've got one thing for you to do first.
You're right. I will do that one thing first. Hit us up on Twitter at SBPH6, which, by the way, I actually looked up who at SBPH is, and they're like some health committee in Europe that like hasn't tweeted since 2016. So I'm like, what the heck, Twitter?
Piss off. Give us your...
Yeah, I want the handle.
Give us the handle.
But so yeah, Twitter at SBPH6. You can find us on YouTube. Search Shwaddhup Bruddah on that. We're on like every podcast platform now, I think.
Literally, I mean, if you
just search for it.
If you just type in Shwaddhup Bruddah, we pop up right there.
You can Google Shwaddhup Bruddah and you'll find us.
We'll pop up.
So, we got that. We got a Facebook. Been getting a lot of love from you guys on that, like continuous.
Yeah, thank you. Seriously. Yes, thank you.
It's been wonderful. And,
well, I mean, aside from us hanging out and stuff, that really does like brighten my day and makes this very much worth it for the work.
Like it hasn't
putting it in.
Exactly. Like I don't
we could easily just be sitting here in a room with nothing in it but the camera.
I will say it has, like, if it was just me and you, no video, still just doing this strictly for us to talk, this would not have been made.
Yeah, never. I would have just been
there would have been no point.
I would have let it get thrown in the dumpster.
Hey,
like, I don't even need that.
Why would I make a decorative panel background? Oh, because we do a podcast,
right?
And people actually listen to it now.
Yeah, and some are even watching it.
Yeah, they actually. We've been getting
go on YouTube.
Some decent
videos are up there. So. Yeah.
But I think that covers all our socials. Let's see. We have a Discord. That's in the description.
Yeah, pretty much everything is in the description of the podcast or the video. So,
or you can just Google us.
Yeah. So
you'll get there close enough.
Finally,
I gotta ask.
You can ask me. Ask away, brother.
All right. Finally, the end of this long, arduous episode. This might be our longest one.
I think so.
I've got one question for you.
Let's hear it.
Shwaddhup, brother.
Shwaddhup, brother.